been back here before?
Not this far.
No, this is the first time we've been back to this part of our property.
Oh, there's a tree down right there.
Oh yeah, there is.
But I think if I get that tree out,
You could drive up through there, and then the tiny house is
right there.
there.
Yeah, I can get the tractor and mow this.
Okay, so we just need to chainsaw out that.
I'll just drive it with the gobble bucket.
Oh, yeah? It is super dense back here. I don't think any of this area has been maintained for many years. So this will be nice to have an access point so close to our back field to get to this lower field. So here's the tiny house. Our trail up to the big house. We've been working on mowing this little entrance we found down to the lower fields here. So we have an easier entry point to upkeep it and hopefully be able to maintain it and keep the water out of it. I think he just ran over a big log though and stalled out. We're doing some land clearing. Luckily caught these guys. We've got 18 acres here, and every corner of it tells a different story. Before we can build anything new, we really feel like we need to understand what's already here. Because as forgotten as this land was, there is still life here, little signs that the land hasn't given up on itself just yet. I've put together a little map of this place to show everybody the incredible bones that are here and hopefully explain the dream that we're slowly layering over them. Because we hope someday to have a large chunk of our family living here with us, to have a business running here, and to live here close to the earth, making as little footprint as possible, and hopefully debt-free in the process. Haddon House is our 200-year-old haunted heart of the property. The old 1910 workshop and future home to our general store. Keeper's Cottage is the old pig barn in our future home. The barn, once part of an old airplane hangar. Southern Indiana's oldest standing carriage house. My sister-in-law's tiny house built from a shed. Haddon Graveyard from 1819. And this is our 2-acre lake. It was actually man-made by the previous owners back in the 1950s, and it spans the length of a good chunk of our property. We rented this field to a local farmer. This year he's planted soybeans. Here we're going to be clearing out all the invasive honeysuckle and a few unhealthy trees growing into the lake to make room for duck houses, beehives, and to give the healthy trees space to thrive. Then we'll move on to clearing more invasive honeysuckle and lots of overgrowth so that we can grade the land, improving the drainage, and finally get around to planting our orchard that we have been dreaming about, because right now this whole area holds water like a swamp. Behind our home will sit our massive market garden, and nearby will be the chicken enclosure for our egg layers. In the future, when our neighbor's not renting the field anymore, we'd like to use it for livestock pasture. And nearby will be the future home of my mother-in-law's house. This little map holds the seeds that will hopefully grow into the next chapter of our life. In my last video, I left Keeper's Cottage on a bit of a cliffhanger, lots of unfinished. Let's see where we started and where we're at today. Hello. We are thrilled to say we made massive progress getting the exterior skeleton of the house finished. It actually looks like a home, not a tree-covered pig barn. But we made one massive rookie mistake. The concrete pad inside just isn't level, and we probably should have dealt with that before putting the frame up. Now we have to saw cut and jackhammer out close to 700 square feet, then re-level the whole thing before we can move forward. Lesson learned, the hard way. And yes, it's definitely a mess, but it's our mess, and we're not stopping. While we're on the topic of mistakes and messes, this is our septic tank. We had it buried. Well, mostly buried. And then it rained. And it floated to the surface because we didn't fill it with water first. So we get to do that again. If you recall from that first picture, this was a pig barn surrounded with 20-foot tall trees. Brian had to cut out so many trees. So we are still left with loads of tree stumps to remove as well on the outside. But we can really see it coming together, and some of the design choices that we made that were very intentional are really starting to show here. We plan to screen in this entire porch because we want just as much of our home to be outside living as inside living. So the home is almost divided in half with indoor and outdoor living. That's truly what we wanted here in this property, to be close to nature. Almost all of the windows on the house are also 5 feet tall windows, and we opted for casement windows which crank out, sort of European style, but we got them at Menards for a fraction of a European window style price. This is where our concrete slab sits today. It has been saw cut. We had to rent the saw cutter to do that, so we returned that. And we are blessed enough to have a neighbor who loaned us a jackhammer for the next step. We're currently living in my sister-in-law's tiny house before she moves up here. And sometimes we just need a break and we need to do things because they're fun and they make us happy, especially when we had the huge concrete slab setback. So we're planting corn. We just wanted to see how the land would grow things here, and we wanted to have some corn. And we did plant a few onions and tomatoes too. We'll see how they grow. Neither my husband or I are from Indiana or have ever lived here before. So everything is a new experience for us, and we're having fun learning. Here's the front of the house. Creepy.
Speak now, so much to say. Don't hold back. Time is on your side when your heart is racing wild. Ooh, I can see it in the distance. Let's get lost in our heartbeats in the shine of the ray of light.
For right now, Haddon House has been cleaned up and we're just maintaining it. There's a lot of work to do there, and mostly we're still in the planning stages. We're enjoying the land. These huge trees around it, we discovered are sugar maples. We're learning now so that next year we can tap them and have our own maple syrup. That's a dead fish. That's also a dead fish right there. Fishies are happy today. There are a few things behind the scenes at Haddon House that we're working on right now. This is our septic tank. We're trying to figure it out, see if it's still in good condition and if it's usable or if we need to consider replacing it. This is one of the 2 wells that we have here. This is a cistern well, they both are, and we're in the process of testing the water and the well integrity to see if they're usable in the future. These will go a long way to helping us get off-grid, which is our ultimate goal. This is the old shop that was built in 1910. We wanted to remove the vinyl siding, partially because it was already ripped off in some parts, and partially because we wanted to reveal this really beautiful pine siding that was on it and original to the structure. Unfortunately, the other half of it, that is a garage, was a newer addition, and it was sort of pieced together. So we're having to figure out a new design that will make this structure work for us. We're not going to use it as a shop or a garage. We're going to turn it into a general store and the future home of my studio for my candle company. We're just taking siding off the general store and discovered a window. There's no glass in it. Well, that'll give us some much needed light in there. Alrighty. The cleaning up of the general store and the clearing of brush around it instigated a new project. There were so many electrical wires everywhere, hanging between the power pole that sat in between the general store and Haddon House, and just swooping between all the structures. So we are working with our electric company to bury the cables, so the line will be buried. And they actually came out and found out that our power pole was rotting, and they were kind enough to move our power pole for us, which you will see here shortly. Here they disconnected the lines from the pole to the house, and they also discovered that we get an upgraded transformer because our transformer was bad as well. No more electrical pole in between the houses. It's been moved over to the water line where it's discreetly hidden behind some trees and flows far more naturally with the land. Here's how we're hoping to transform the general store. We have a truly non-existent budget and we want it to meet a lot of needs. So paint's gonna have to go really far here. I found this inspo picture to remove the garage door, and we're gonna build some barn doors to go there. A few exterior lights and a handmade sign, and we should be good to go.
I don't know. This is like something that could be super special and cool. It's definitely going to be a challenge. But man, just cleared this bank, I mean, this pond would be beautiful. Right now it looks pretty rough.
Then I see you on the beach, looking back at me, I wanna trade. Waste no time now. Would you mind if I came on over? Would you mind if I got to show you just a bit about me? I'm picking up your energy with mine. Would you mind if I said I wanna get to know you? Would you mind? Would you mind? Would you mind? Would you mind? Just a bit about me. I'm picking up your energy with mine. Would you mind if I said I wanna get to know you?
I don't know if the camera's capturing it. Hopefully it is, but can you guys see we put the crystal blue in the lake? It's crazy. He only put it in a couple hours ago. The whole thing is turquoise and blue. It's so pretty. It was brown. Wow. The fishies are also, ow, very happy. That's our happy fishies. Thought I'd share a little story time on my walk today. This is our walking path from the front part of the barn to the back. And the whole thing is covered with these mulberry trees. So I often stop on my walk and I pick mulberries for us and for the dogs. Now, I know the name of our channel is The Haunted Homesteaders, but we're actually very skeptical people. We're not those kind of ghost tour kind of people. We're really matter of fact and fact-based about our beliefs on those sorts of things. However, I have had a few experiences now I thought I would share, particularly on this path, which is right next to our graveyard. Last week, I was attempting to prune some of the weeds away from the sign that really needs to be redone. It's pretty bad condition right now. And I felt something on the back of my leg, and I thought, okay, look at all these vines everywhere. It's probably just a weed touching me. But it was like very high on the back of my thigh, like almost going under my shorts, which there's really nothing around here that high. And it was actually even lower last week. We haven't mowed through here. So that was weird. Kind of made me jumpy. As you can see, I stopped weeding around here. And I was like, okay, I think I'm done for now. And then the next day, I was walking back down this path I was picking mulberries from this tree right here. And on my other leg, but in a very similar fashion, I felt something touching the back of my thigh, like a hand. And I felt it like rub down to the point where I was sure there was someone pranking me and someone here behind me. There's really nowhere for anybody to hide behind me. There was definitely nobody here. So that's a little spooky. On a side note, can we talk about my mulberries? These are so impressive. You know, some people here consider these kind of like a nuisance because the birds like them. I am not of that mindset. I think these mulberry trees are fantastic. They taste amazing in pancakes and muffins. The dogs love them as treats. They're great to just eat if you just need a munchie in the middle of the afternoon while you're working. Anyhow, I'll have to share my next haunted story later.